Hi there, welcome to the iNLP Center. My name is Mike Bundrant,
I'm Hope Bundrant.
and we're here today to do something a little bit different with you. We want to do an intervention that will show you what's possible with NLP. And so I'm going to be working as the practitioner with a real issue that Hope is experiencing in her life right now. And I don't know what this issue is. We're just going to start from scratch. And our job will be to, or my job will be to find a way to work with Hope constructively and teach you something of what NLP can do at the same time, and do it all in just a few minutes. And so hopefully we'll get that done today. So one of the things that we always at the start of any kind of interaction or NLP intervention at any rate, we want to ask what's going on or what the goal is. So what are we working on today?
Oh, my goal is to stay motivated for the next 2 weeks to achieve my goal.
Which is?
Which is to compete in a competition coming up, a fitness competition in a couple of weeks.
Okay. And 2 weeks from now?
Just about 2 weeks.
Okay. And you've done these fitness competitions?
I've done these before, and I've been debating whether to do the one that's coming up or not. I've been kind of back and forth on my diet, not sure if I want to do it or not, and I decided today I'm definitely going to do it, but now I only have a little less than 2 weeks to get in the right shape for it.
Okay. So one of the first things that comes to my mind is the principle of ecology in NLP. Whenever you're doing a piece of change work with someone, or you're trying to help someone in any way, you want to ask the question, what's the risk? Is it possible? Because you don't want people to set themselves up for failure. Now, I know you've done this before, my opinion about whether or not it's possible, but for you, I mean, 2 weeks in a major bodybuilding competition, realistically, is that enough time? You setting yourself up
I think
for
it
failure?
is.
Okay.
I have about 4 pounds to lose, and I think I'd be just fine.
2 pounds a week.
Easy.
Okay. So in terms of you're sure you're not setting yourself up, this is a realistic goal?
Yeah, I think I won't have a problem as long as I can stick to my diet.
Okay. And you call that motivation? Having the motivation to stick to your diet? Is that what
No. Now that I think about it, I don't know. Is that motivation?
I don't know. What do you
It's
call
discipline. Oh, discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in 2 weeks, you're going to do this bodybuilding competition.
Right.
And discipline is a tool that you most need in order to get there.
Yeah, to stick to my diet.
Now paint a picture of what discipline would look like to us. If you were disciplined, you would be doing what?
I would be eating exactly what I'm supposed to eat at every meal and taking my supplements and doing my cardio.
Whole diet and exercise regime.
For the last
Trust me,
2
these
weeks.
things are just pinned down to every teaspoon that goes into your diet for that period of time.
Right.
Right? And you're
Right.
talking about no deviation.
No
from that
deviation because I only
for
have 2 weeks.
Okay. So that gives an idea of what discipline is. What stops you? I mean, if there's something that's going to stop you
Laziness.
from getting away, laziness. Now, this question, these are all NLP questions that help us target where to intervene. So the question, what stops you, that comes from the outcome specification model. So if you have someone who has a goal, they're really clear, it's ecological, and the details are in place in terms of they know what they need to do. It's all very clear. That was sort of what we did in the first few sentences. And then the next question that you can ask is, well, why wouldn't you just take this for granted and do it? What gets in your way? What stops you? Identifying the obstacle in the way of the goal might be a place where we can be helpful. So laziness, what's going on with laziness?
Well, for the last month, I should have been keeping up my diet and my training and everything, and I kind of got a little lazy and didn't really do it, and now I'm kind of in a bind, and I finally decided I want to do it, so now I have to really keep to that. But it's really easy to not eat the things I should eat, or when I crave something, to eat something bad or not on my diet anyways, and it's really hard to resist things that taste really good.
It looks stressful as I watch
It's
you.
way stressful,
right?
but it's the end result I'm going towards. So
Okay. Is it like a part of you is lazy or wants to?
a part of me,
Is this like self-sabotage we're talking about here, or?
I think a part of me says you really don't need to do it. It's no big deal. There's no big, huge reason why you have to. So it's easy to give in to that. I don't know if that's self-sabotage or if it's just being realistic about the situation.
Okay, let me go take that a step further. It's like a part of you wants to do this competition, a part of you doesn't.
Well, sure. The part of me that doesn't is the part that wants to be lazy.
Okay. Okay, so we're getting an idea that this is, she's talking about herself. She's not talking about specific behaviors. Lazy is kind of a general concept. And she didn't go into, these are the 3 or 4 things that I might do to get in the way, and I got to figure out how to avoid doing those things necessarily. She started talking about laziness, and it went to a part of you kind of doesn't want to do the competition, doesn't see it as necessary.
Right.
And a part of you does. So we're talking about internal conflict here.
Well, and I know the last time I did the competition, which was just a month ago or so, at the last minute I felt I didn't really need to, but I went ahead and did it because I felt obligated. So I keep coming back to that of, am I going to feel that way right before? And if I'm going to feel that way right before, why bother going to all this discipline and work if I might feel like I don't want to at that point?
Okay, and so we're going back and forth in the conflict now. Part of her is going, I want to do all this work to get there, but there's this part of you that thinks, you don't need to.
I don't need to, but...
What's the big deal? And so you don't want to get to a place where you've put in all this effort, you get to right before the competition, you go,
and I kind of chicken out a little bit.
This, right?
Right.
Right. Because a part of you thinks it's not that important.
Right.
Okay.
Right, but then I get so motivated and I want to do it.
And that's the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
So a part of you already is motivated to do this.
Oh, yeah, and I've done it, so I know what it's about. It's not horrible.
Right.
Right.
And
it's a lot of fun.
You've won these competitions
before.
And then there's this other part of you that's
kind of like, why bother? I've already been there, done that. Why go to all the work? But I want the body that I will have if I do it.
Okay.
So, and it's the competition that motivates me to get in the shape I really do want to be.
Okay. So this is one of the most common dynamics in the human psyche. It's conflict. Everybody can relate to this. On the one hand, I want this. On the other hand, I want that. And these parts of me are going to war within myself, and it manifests behaviorally. I start down this road, and then I take a left turn, and then I double back, and it's sort of like I'm not whole in my pursuit of this, right?
And I want to be, because if I was whole in it, it would be no problem. I would just do it. Right.
Okay. So let's talk to this lazy part of you for a minute. So now what we want to do, there's a lot of different things you can do with internal conflict, but one of the things to do is just go, okay, I got a part of me that's lazy, and it's for real. I mean, you're worried about it.
Right.
And we don't want to ignore conflicting parts. We don't want to ignore parts that would sabotage us, because when we ignore them, we empower them to strike at the most inopportune times, right? Okay, so you got a part of you that's lazy. Accept that.
Well, and self-doubting.
Okay. Lazy and which is primary? Laziness? Does the self-doubt lead to laziness? Or the laziness or self-doubt is, or...
Yeah.
Laziness is a convenience for the self-doubt kind of thing.
I think the self-doubt's the extreme, the more stronger thing, because it's a self-sabotage behavior.
Okay. What's that like? How do you doubt yourself?
Well, that I'm going to be able to look good enough. That I'm going to be able to get the fat off I need to get off, and all of that it will actually happen in time. And so do I even want to try it? And then I think, I've been messing up for the last month. Maybe I went too far.
So now we're back to that ecology issue, which is it possible to do? Objectively, is it possible to do? So there is it possible to do, or is it possible for you to do?
Well, you almost want to say, if I'm guaranteed that I will have the results I want, then I'll go ahead and do it, right? I think it's possible.
What's the self-doubt one?
Well, it's possible, of course. It's possible to go. You can compete if you want, whenever you want to. Well, you look good enough to win. That's the key.
Okay.
Right?
How do you know to have self-doubt? Do you got like a little voice in your head? Is it a feeling? You got a memory? I noticed that your I-access and cues are kind of all around. How do you know to doubt yourself?
Well, I think we just naturally doubt ourselves, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty natural. How do you do it?
I guess I just start feeling crappy about myself.
Where do you feel it? Is it a feeling in your head, in your throat, in your chest, in your gut? What is this crap?
It's in my chest.
Can you feel it now?
Yeah.
What's it feel like?
It feels like I'm out of breath. Like
Okay.
there's a pressure and I'm out of breath.
Okay. Okay, so now we've taken it down to when we have any state, and Hope's talking about a state of self-doubt, right? There's different components of that state. This is classic NLP. There are visual components. She might have an image in her head. There are auditory components, or things she might say to herself to create that state. And there are kinesthetic components, or the feelings. What she became aware of first is a feeling in your chest. Kind of stop breathing, tighten up.
But then there's also the same excitement feeling like that of thinking about competing.
Right, we don't want
Okay.
that yet. We want to just look at the self-doubt. We just want to feel the self-doubt from it. You were feeling it just a minute ago.
Well, if I go back and I remember when I had self-doubt, but then I ended up doing really well, I can know not to trust my self-doubt, maybe?
Okay, I'm the practitioner.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. We're just going to work on this. We're just going to work on the self-doubt.
Okay.
You got it? I just want you to be aware of it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah? You aware of the feeling of it? Are you aware of anything that you see or hear as well?
Yeah, I see the fat on the back of my legs.
You got an image of the fat on the back of your legs?
It's really bad.
Is it a memory of seeing?
It is a memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you noticed earlier in the video where I knew there was going to be a memory involved here, because when I asked, how do you create the self-doubt, she went like this. She looked up and to her left, which is a visual eye accessing. That's a visual memory that's in Module 2 of the iNLP Center training. You can watch someone's eyes and you can know if they have pictures, sounds, or feelings that are going around and creating their various different experiences. So you got a memory. What's this memory?
It's a memory that I thought that I looked a lot better than I looked, and then we had some photos, and it showed that it wasn't as good as I thought.
You got a memory of a specific,
A specific photo.
Okay,
Yeah.
just look at it.
Okay.
And tell me about, you don't have to describe what's in the memory, but describe where it is. Like, is it front and center? Is it over to one side? Is it higher than your field of vision, lower than your field of vision?
No, it's like right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like right in your face.
Right in my face.
Is it larger than life size? Smaller than life size?
I'm sure it's larger than life size.
Color?
Yeah.
Blurry or clear?
It's more clear than blurry.
Okay. Still shot or a picture?
It's a picture.
It's just like this
Yeah.
right in your face,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you've got a right in your face of something unpleasant, of course you're going to clench up,
Yeah.
right? So these in NLP are what's known as submodalities. It doesn't matter. This talks about the structure of your thoughts. In other words, not what you're thinking, but how you're thinking of it. If you have a picture of something that you really don't like, and it's big, larger than life size, close, sort of in your face, it's going to be much more disturbing than if it were way far away, small and distant. It would be much less relevant, right? So how you're thinking is much more important than what you're thinking. So you started off with this pressure, and this pressure we could tell before you were aware that it came from some memory, and now we've got the memory that's creating the pressure.
Right.
Okay. So what if you didn't have this pressure?
And I would just do it, and it would be no big deal, and I'd work through the steps that I need to take to get to my goal.
Okay. And again, we're looking for ecology. If we got this pressure and we eliminate the pressure and she goes forward full speed, is anything bad going to happen? Is there a downside to it?
No, that'd be really exciting. It would feel like I could just enjoy the process.
Okay. Okay.
And be excited about the process.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you a question. Is there something about yourself or anything in life really that at one time bothered you, was unpleasant, but it doesn't bother you now?
Yeah.
What?
My face doesn't bother me as much as it used to bother me. How I look. Confidence. Confidence.
No, your face. Okay. You got an image of, is there a picture? Let's go here. Is there a picture of your face that used to bother you that doesn't bother you now?
Pretty much every picture.
Doesn't bother you now?
No, I feel so much more confident now.
Okay. So think of a picture of your face that at one time bothered you, but does not bother you now.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Now, where is that image? Again, we're going for submodalities. We're going for
it's
how
small
she's thinking.
And it's up here.
Okay. Okay, so let's look at the difference here. The picture, we've got two pictures. That we have one picture that really bothered her in the past but doesn't bother her anymore. And we have one picture that bothers her now, and they're both of her. And it makes perfect sense that you would be thinking of these two pictures very differently, right? You got a small one up here,
right,
and you've got one that's in your face, right? Okay. So do you want the picture that's in your face right now not to bother you? You want it to be...
If it didn't bother me, I might not do anything about it then. So it needs to bother me because it motivates me, right?
I don't know, you tell me. I mean, this picture of your face used to bother you. It doesn't bother you now. Are you not motivated to take care of your face now?
No, I just don't even think about it anymore. It's
but you do take care of your face.
Oh yeah, I take care of everything. Yeah, okay, you got me. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, I don't want that to bother me, I guess.
And
it really bothers me though.
Yeah. If it didn't, you'd be okay? You'd still be motivated, just like you're motivated to
I don't
take care
know,
of your
maybe.
face? Well,
maybe I would. Oh, you know what? Huh. Since I saw other pictures, that one picture doesn't bother me now. Because I can see how I could not let that bother me.
Okay. She said I could see how I could not let that bother me. So Hope did her own little change work here. I'd be willing to bet as you think about that picture not bothering you, it moved.
Yeah. It moved kind of down
right.
to the corner.
Right. So
and now the pictures that contradict the bad picture, they're kind of a little bit larger. Like the more positive thoughts.
Gone ahead and done this whole process without me thinking.
I didn't know what the process was going to be.
I know. Well, you're doing it. This is called a submodality map across. We actually teach the whole process in Unit 7 of the practitioner training. So now the image that bothered you, you've moved it in a place in your mind where it's the same image, right?
Yeah.
Same content, just a picture of you.
I'm just going to focus on the positive pictures.
You're going to focus on the positive pictures, and you can do that now that you've moved the other one to a different location.
Yeah, now I can be excited about the big picture in front of me. That's the good picture. That contradicts, that kind of cancels out the bad one.
Okay. Okay.
And that's what I did with the old thought, too, is that old picture of my face that bothered me, I've had new ones since then that are positive, so I don't have to...
And you've moved this one, unconsciously, you've moved the old picture into a different location,
yeah.
right? So what submodalities are, whenever we make any kind of a shift in perspective, the submodalities, or the qualities of our internal imagery in this case, represent that shift. And what we're suggesting is by consciously making that shift, you can facilitate the change in perspective that you want to make and do it on purpose rather than for waiting for it to happen sort of haphazardly. Is this image where you want it now? You don't want to move it up here by the one with your face? Right? It's a lower body part.
It's okay. Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's why.
Okay. Okay, so think ahead to the competition that you have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah? You ready for it?
Well,
think it all the way through. We're talking about think it all. Now, I'm not talking about the competition could be a stressful day, right? But remember, we're focused on discipline.
Right.
Will you have the discipline and avoid the self-doubt or laziness? Does it feel like you can do that now?
I think that I can do it. Yeah, I think I can do it knowing that the result has been proven. I just have to work the steps to get the same result, and I can do that. I have faith in the process.
What about self-doubt?
No, as long as I stick to it, I'm good.
Okay. This is, so what we've done here, we started with, I don't know what's going on, and we've got an issue, and whatever amount of time we've taken here, we've defined the issue a little bit, we've identified an obstacle, and then we've created a shift in perspective that has allowed Hope to shift your state and feel like you can move forward.
And I know what to do every time I'm feeling not motivated or lacking discipline. I can work through a little process and bring move the pictures where I want them to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can do it anytime. Yeah,
that might be the thing, because now I have a visual anchor to go with the motivation.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
All right, thanks for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it for you. If you're interested in learning how to do this, then you need to get some NLP training. If you click on the brochure, the image you see in front of you now, it will take you to where you can learn more about how to enroll and what we have to offer. And of course, you can visit us anytime you want at inlpcenter.org.